Do you want to know how to make thumbnails in Canva? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make professional looking thumbnails for your YouTube videos using the free version of Canva. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. Hey everyone, Saarenoja here. Welcome to my channel where I help new YouTubers grow on YouTube. So I'm going to share my screen now and show you how to make some beautiful thumbnails. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so you'll want to go into canva.com, so canva.com, basically Canvas without the S, and sign up if you need to, but you just need the free version. You don't need to pay for anything. We're going to do everything we're going to do today is a free version friendly. So up at this search bar, you're just going to type in thumbnail YouTube. And what you'll see is a bunch of examples of thumbnail templates that you can use to modify them in order to put them as your YouTube thumbnail for your video. So you can look through and find something you like, and keep in mind that everything is modifiable. So all the colors, all the images, all the font sizes, font type, everything is modifiable. So you're basically just kind of looking for something that inspires you as a starting point. Another thing you can do is if you are in a particular niche, you could do a thumbnail of that niche. So if we do thumbnail yoga, let's say you're a yoga instructor on YouTube and you want to create a thumbnail for a yoga video. So you can do thumbnail yoga, and then you'll start to get a lot of these much stronger bases related to your topic, right? So it'll kind of help you have a stronger starting point. So I'm just going to do thumbnail YouTube. Just start there for the more general YouTube thumbnails. Okay, and then you just basically scroll through to see something you like. If there is a crown on it like this, it's a pro version and you need to upgrade to be able to use that. So you need to use the paid version in order to use that particular thumbnail. But for example, this is a free one because it doesn't have a crown. So I'm just going to scroll through. I know there's one down here that I like that I want to modify. This one I would like to modify. So you click on it, and then it's going to say customize this template, and then you click on that to do that as well. Also, if you like this one and you click on it, then it'll show you other examples that are kind of similar, and you might find something else that you like even better down there in the recommendations. So customize template, it'll open it up in a new browser tab, and this will be your workspace for this thumbnail. First thing I like to do when I come in here is I would like to change the title up here, or the file name. So this will be the file name when you export this file or download it. So you want to change this. So I'm going to just change this to thumbnail, maybe YouTube. So when it saved the file, I know what it is that I'm saving. Okay, now everything in here, I just want to let you know, is modifiable, like I've said many times already. So anything you click on, you can change the color, the size, the rotation. You know, if it's text, you can change the font type, the font style, the font setup with regards to paragraph style. Everything you can change. So you can modify anything you want, basically. Well, not everything, but most things. So for example, this little star thing, when I click on it, whenever you click on any element, it's going to give you a different option up here in the horizontal bar. So this element is giving you elements related to, or options related to, a graphic element. This, if you click on this, is the background. It's going to give you options related to the background. If you click on text, it's going to give you text options. So font size, bold, italicized, etc., effects, animation, etc. So whenever you click on something, the horizontal bar up here of options will adjust. But let's just walk through some changes you could make. So you can change to color. So if we want to change the color of this star, we could change it to maybe pink. And then if we want to change, I think there is some sort of like shadow on this star. I can't really see it, but we add white and maybe then we would see it, but I don't really see it. But usually if there's two colors, there's two tones in the graphic element. So you can easily change the color of this graphic. You can also flip it. So if you want to flip horizontally or if you want to flip vertically, you can do that as well. You can change the position of the location of this. So like, let's say this is on her face, but we want it to be behind her head. Then we click on position and we can go backward. Now it's behind her head, and forward, it's in front of her head. So this is layered content. Everything on here is kind of layered. Whatever you bring in next will be on the top layer. So whenever you add something, that is on the topmost layer, and then you need to adjust where the position is in regards to what you're bringing it in onto. You can also change transparency of this. So if you wanted this, I'll put it on top of something so you can see when you change transparency, it just becomes lighter or darker, and you can see what's behind it when you lower the transparency. So you can do pretty much these things with all of these objects. Animate, we're not going to talk about today because it's a thumbnail. You're not going to have any kind of animation going on, but you could easily click on this and learn what animations you want to use in your scene. Okay, so that's changing color and looking at flipping it and those types of things. We can also modify it with regards to size and rotation. So when you click on the element, you can see that there's this like recycling looking sign. This is a rotate symbol, so you can rotate this around however you like, and it's easy to use. You can also grab any of these vertices. So these corner points are called vertices, or you can just call them points, corner points. But you can drag that out. So it can just left mouse click and drag. Oh, there's white dots in it. That's what those white extra color was. Okay. So with this, it's when you drag it, it is keeping the proportions of the object. It's not distorting it. With other things, like let's say this block here, if I pull on this tab, it's going to distort the shape. And if I don't want it to distort the shape, then I would need to hold Alt and then left mouse click and drag, and it'll stretch out both sides at the same time. If I grab a corner and hit Alt, it'll stretch everything out evenly. Otherwise, if I grab this corner, it will just stretch that corner out. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and if you do anything and you don't like it, you can go up here to undo, or you can do Control Z or Command Z, and redo, you can use this button. So if we go to font size, we can change the font, type, the font size, etc. So if we want to change the font type, we go up here and we just hit the down button, and you'll notice that open up over here another tab. So this is where you can choose all the different fonts. You can look up here to different like categories of font. Like if you want corporate, it'll list all the kind of corporate styles, or bold, or those types of things, and then you can easily just select it and it will change the font over here to reflect that. You can change the font size by either toggling these up and down. You can also type in a number yourself, and you can also drag these endpoints and change the font size that way as well. You can change the color of the font by clicking on this color tab and choosing any color you like. You can also make it bold or unbold or italicized or unitalicized, that sort of thing. You can also choose the orientation of it, or like paragraph style. So it's left aligned now, then it's center, then it's right aligned, then it's justified. And then you can have bullet points, numbers, etc. You can also change the spacing. So you can change how far or close the letters are together. You can also change the line spacing. This would be, if this was a 2-line word, you would change the spacing in between. So let me just actually let's do that so you can see it. So if we go back in here and we put it closer, the dot goes closer and further away with the line spacing, which I actually use that a lot when I am doing thumbnails, to make it all fit on the page usually. Okay, so those are some things, tweaks you can do yourself. So basically, if you liked this thumbnail when you took it from the templates, you could just modify the colors, modify the words, and give it a go and download it. Hit to download it, you would go to share, and you would go to download, and then you would change MP4 to JPEG or PNG. I like PNG because it's usually better quality. And then you would just hit download. It's at the size it needs to be for a thumbnail in YouTube. And then you just hit download and save it to your files. But for what we're going to do, we're going to delete this stuff and make it anew, so you can really learn how to do this. So I'm just going to select everything and hit backspace, or I could hit this trash can to delete it. And I'm going to get rid of everything. And I'll leave these words and stuff and put it over here. Maybe I'll even delete the background color. Okay, so I want to import an image of myself that I want to put in my thumbnail. So I'm going to go to upload and go to upload files, and then you find the file on your computer and you click on it and you hit open. I already did it, so it's already in here. Once you have your images, you can look down and see all the images that you've ever uploaded in here. You just click on it and it'll pop it into your scene. Now with this, I don't want the background in it. I just want me and my daughter in the picture. So I could go to edit image if I had the pro version, and then I would go to BG remover, so background remover, and it would remove the background, and it works awesome. It really works really well. But since I don't have the pro version, I need to do a workaround to get that background out of the way. So I just go to background remover, free online, and I find different ones. This one is one I have tested and it works. So I go here and I just upload my image. I'm not signing in, I'm not logging in, I'm not signing up for anything. I just hit this and I hit open. And it's doing its magic, it's removing the background. Now the background is gone, and then I can hit download. And it has downloaded that thing. I can also download HD, and that I believe would require you to have, sign up. So I'm not going to do that right now. But if you wanted to sign up, you could. And then, so I'm going to go back into Canva. I'm going to go upload that file that I just removed the background from. And I'm going to open it. And it's going to come in here. So now I'm going to select this one and delete it because I don't want to use that. I'm going to use this one instead. Now I have a great image of me and my daughter with no background. So I can, this is, you know, what you would see normally in thumbnails. I can also like flip this if I want it to be this way or, you know, the other way. I can decide. And I can also rotate it if I want it to be more even like this and scale it around or whatever I want to do. Okay, so let's say this is what I'm going to use. Notice in this image, my arms are cut off and she is cut off a little bit. So I will probably try to modify this in such a way with the graphics that I cover that up. But if you notice on thumbnails, people don't bother to even do that, but I would probably do that myself. Okay, so let's say this is the image we're going to use. We could scale it up even more if we wanted to. And then we want to maybe put something in the background, like maybe a color. So I'm going to do maybe like a nice yellow color, or I like pink. So I will do pink. And then I would probably, this video got 1 million views in 2 weeks. I'm going to leave that alone. I'll change the colors of it, of course. Okay, so first let's maybe modify the text. This video got 1 million views in 2 weeks. So I'm going to choose colors that I think are good for this palette. So I'm going to do maybe like a dark pink for the background. And then I'm going to move this over and this over. And I'm going to maybe make this white so it stands out. Then I'm going to do, I kind of like the yellow with it, but I don't like the black. So I'm going to change this to white. Maybe not white, maybe gray. Then I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to do pink on this. And something like that. And then I can grab these two together and I can group them. By selecting, holding shift and selecting both of them, I can group it and then I can scale it up easily so that it's taking up more space on this page because thumbnails are quite small. So I'm going to do it like that. And then I'm going to grab the rest of these by dragging a square over them and just moving them down. Okay, and then I decide that I want this pink thing, this pink banner to kind of go all the way across. So I'm going to ungroup it now so that I can grab just this pink. And I'm going to grab this handle here and drag it all the way across. But as you notice, it's covering my head. So I want to make my head in front of that pink bar. So I select me, I go to position, and I move it forward until it comes in front of that. Click it as many times as you need. So now that's in front of that. So that's good. And then 1 million views, we can move this wherever we see fit. We can also, you know, rotate it if we want to make it more, you know, something funky. I'm not going to do that though. I'm just going to move it kind of maybe up and over here. Scale this down a bit so it's just around the words and not so big. I could extend this so that it kind of relates to the line above it, kind of extend it behind me. That's kind of nice. This is a little bit struggling. It's not standing out enough, so I'm going to go to the effects. And there's all the different effects you can use with fonts. So there's shadow, there's lift, there's a splice. Let me move me. Outline. I like outline usually, so I'm going to add an outline. Then I can choose the color. I'm going to make the white. I might change the color of the font too to be pink. But let's say this is what we want. And maybe let's say I don't actually like this font type. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look for something else. Which this can get you down a rabbit hole, so maybe I shouldn't do this right now. Okay, so I'm just going to undo a bunch and get back to the font that it was. Okay, and maybe I just take off the italicized and bold. No, I like the bold. Okay, so I'll just leave it like that, 1 million views. Okay, so then I'm just going to move this up, and then I'm going to add some graphic elements, and then I'll call it a day. So we can go over here, and we can find some graphic elements by going to elements. We can search like fireworks or something like that. So fireworks or confetti or something like that. And you can bring that in here. So I can just search for something that I like that I'll go into graphics actually. Find something I like that's free. So this is free. I like that. I'm going to put this in. And that just gives it a little bit of excitement somewhere. So I don't really know where I'll put it, but let's say I put it here. And we could put this in the background. So then we do the position and we move it to back. So now we can see kind of these fireworks in the background. And of course you can decide if you like it or not. You know, I could also put it behind my head and then move these so they're not in the way. So I could move this so that you can actually see the fireworks, you know, like something like that if I wanted to have those fireworks. But you can play around with all these different elements and put them however you want. Maybe I just have some elements down here in the corner, you know, I don't know, however you want to do it. I don't want to waste your time with like moving things around and making it super detailed, but that's something you could add in graphics. You can add in, you know, like you could just think of what you want, like confetti, if you want some confetti. And you can do graphics and you can just look for some confetti if you want to add that in. You can add in photos of confetti as well. So if you wanted just a background of confetti like this, if we bring this in and we put it in the background, and then we go position to back. Now we've got confetti background and we can delete this, and maybe that's something more exciting or more retro or relates to your channel somehow. But you could just play around with all of these different things, and I think that it's you know, pretty easy to make thumbnails this way. One other thing I want to show you is, let's say you have a picture that you can use a frame. So you could do a frame element, type frame, and you can find these are frames for images. So if you want to have a certain shape of you, like if you wanted to put a circular shape of you just in a circle, you could then drag your image on top of that and it will place it into that circle. And then you can double click on it and move, you know, however you want yourself positioned in that circle. So then it would be a cropped picture of you. So I think that is also useful to know about. But I would say play around with everything and, you know, change colors, change fonts, and then you can, once you have it the way you like it, if I get it back out of here, say I like this, then I go to share and I download, and I keep it at the size that it is and do PNG from the drop down. And then I just hit download, and now I have the thumbnail. It's downloading and it saves to your downloads. And then you can just click on it and there it is, and you can upload it into your YouTube video. So hopefully this helps, and just know that everything is modifiable in here, and the only things you really need to use are if you wanted to add text yourself. Let's say we didn't have this text here, we wanted to add text, we just go to this text block and we can add a heading or subheading, but let's do heading because it's quite big. There we go, and then we just grab these controls, move it around, rotate it, and then we can click in here and start typing. And then we could click on it and change the color and change the font size and change the font type and everything like that. So super easy to use, Canva's super friendly. And there you have it. That is how you can create a Canva thumbnail for your YouTube videos. And if you have any questions, ask them in the comments below and I will be happy to answer them as quickly as possible. Thanks you guys. Bye.